Hello, hello, hello. I thought I'd start with a British accent, Ryan. How
I
was
thought
that?
that was
That was good.
it was
It
not your
was,
best, but
it's not my best. I'm not very good. All right. I digress. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to the Between You and I podcast. This is episode 25. Super excited about the quarter anniversary is what I'm going to call it. Today we have Julia Massey on, and as you'll hear, I so like her a lot. I met her once. The first time I met her, it was like, and I'll say, it was like meeting a unicorn. And I say it in the podcast, but she is so nice. She's such an artist. And I've, I just found the conversation delicious and I crave it. I like her so much and I just appreciate her kindness. And I look for that, I think, in other artists, and it's the highest pleasure to have an exchange like we did on this session. I really loved it. So hope you guys enjoy the conversation. Please subscribe if you're enjoying what you're hearing. And I think Ryan and I may have some newness coming up with a Patreon that we will do a little episode and tell you all about it, but that will be coming soon. So hope you enjoy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Between You and I podcast. Thank you for coming and taking a listen. This is episode 25, which is a quarter episode. We're a quarter of a way to 100. That's how I'm going to look at that.
Yes.
Quarter of a century. Right. Hey, so today I'm super psyched that we have Julia Massey with us today from Warren Dunes. And we were just getting ready to do this. And I was saying, this is just a conversation and that I have ideas in my head, but then but if this could take any turn and could go on forever. Yeah. Yeah. We could go on for hours. And sometimes we do.
I love it. I believe it. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. As life should be this way.
I know, right? We don't really have control. And so I really try and like relax into that and par chance be happy.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. I'm thrilled to be here.
Okay. So I just got to say the thing like that sticks out in my head, and because we don't know each other that well, but you make, right. And I think you do this I think this happens with everyone who meets you, unless they're just seriously something's wrong with them. But I seriously think, and this happened for me too, I find you to be like a kindness unicorn.
Oh, no one's ever said that. I love that.
We're going to be making t-shirts. Don't worry. We're going to make t-shirts. It'll have your face on it. It's going to have your face on it. Oh. Actually, that's a great idea, and I am going to do that. I got to do something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is, I'm incredibly humbled and gratified to hear you say that, because before we played together at the Crocodile, I told a handful of folks, I'm playing this show with Carrie Ackrey, and some of the people in my life were like, okay, now I'll come and see you in person, because it was like, oh, you're playing with a legend, so we're gonna rally and come to this show. And I, like I was saying before this began, I am just starting to develop my Carrie Ackrey primer of like songs that I'm putting them together, and I'm in the kind of discovering you phase of my life. But there's peers of mine who have been fans of yours for a long time. And so I had this like conception of, don't screw this up, Massey, when you show up, like make sure you make a good impression with Carrie Ackrey. And then you are just one of the warmest, down to earth people. and it was such a relief. It was such a relief. Like, oh my gosh, what a wonderful person. And then I got to experience your enormous talent, which was, I would like to talk a little bit more about specifically certain things about what you do as a musician. I don't know if we can just jump right into that. If
That's
you
just
don't
going to
mind.
make me weepy. Yeah.
I'm
Literally like, oh God, I'm going to cry. I get 11 in the morning.
Why not? Why not?
No, I appreciate you.
I have to cry once a day now to just kind of process these times. So it's great. I am so curious because I don't do this as a performer. I am not predominantly, singularly a vocalist. I got instruments up there that in some ways I like hide behind, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Okay.
I feel like when people are performing the way you do, where they are mostly a vocalist, that seems so extra scary and a new level of vulnerability to me. And I'm curious if that's always been how you performed, or if you had experience with instruments as well.
Well, you know what's funny, and I will say this just about you as well, because I am a singer, so I listen to voices. Like that's my thing, right? If I was a guitar player, I would be focusing on guitars and sounds and tone and all that. So when I listen to singers, I'm instantly like listening to the voice for tone, like all the reasons. And you have a killer tone. Like I really think voices are healing, and you are a voice of healing. You are an angel of healing. I think you were kind of born this way. And
it's gonna make me cry now.
Oh, I know, right? It's just a podcast
all
of
over
tears.
This
But it's important, and it's such a good thing to say out loud in the world. Just all sorts of crappy things. There's always something crappy going on. Not to be pessimistic, but particularly right now, and that's why I think voices and people, especially angelic people, are really important. You got to say so out loud, so at least you can point people in a direction. Like, go listen to her. She's got this voice that is like got clarity and tone to it. And the things you sing about, your lyrics are so positive and thoughtful. It's like I'm in your head, and I was like, because you think your stuff's personal.
Right. Right. I can't thank you enough for saying that, and for the things you're noticing, because I don't know if you've experienced this in the vacancy of live performance, but I stopped practicing with my band for, during quarantine, etc. And we've only just now started to kind of do it again. Like, we're all masked, we're doing everything. And I didn't realize how much just the act of singing myself was a healing power for my own body. Like, I'm delighted to know that it positively impacts anybody other than myself. But I didn't realize how much that was affecting me. Because after we had band practice for the first time in months, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not as congested up here. I don't feel like I felt mentally sharper. I felt so much better. I'm assuming you must experience this.
Well, I really feel like, again, singing is putting vibration through your body, and you are a vessel. And not only that, like tone, like I am shivering all over. Wow, it's a good thing. Like I'm just excited. I really believe that singing, as you sing, you're vibrating through your whole body, tones and things like that. So I think that's true. And I also think that when you sing, you become like a vessel, and in a fun way, unconsciously, you're a channel, right? And that feels good. That's healing. And also, whenever in our lives do we open our mouths and ever be that loud and express yourself? It's really, I wish everyone would do it. Because like not expressing yourself, feeling pain or being stopped up or whatever is not good. It's not good for anybody, right? Yes. But just, I have come to really appreciate, like, where in my life do I have gotten the chance to open my mouth and be like, nah, just full chest voice.
Yes.
This is what I think, or here's what's happening to me, even if I'm just listening to me, right? Like,
absolutely.
That's what I think about all that. And playing with a band, playing with your bandmates. I've been thinking about that. One, it's such a pleasure, but I think it's close to sex. Like
it is like a Nirvana kind of experience. It feels like tapping into some kind of it requires present moment awareness. If it's going to be what we all have enjoyed from our favorite artists, so it's a requirement if it's going to actually be conveyed. And I can tell when I'm not tapping into it at practice, it's a lot harder to forget to be in the present moment at a show, because you have all these people who have chosen to be in the room with you, which is what is so magical about a live performance, and that I'm so missing. To which end, it makes me want to ask you this, Carrie, which is, I had this realization a couple of months into COVID times, which was, as much as I love being a performer, I love it so much, I think I miss being in the audience more right now.
Ooh.
I am like dying to have my butt right up at the stage, looking up at somebody and communing that way. Like I took that for granted. I was like, I love being a performer. Being on stage is the best. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, but being in the audience is just as sacred of an experience, if not more. You have to show up for that person.
For sure. I miss
it.
Yeah, I miss just the energy that you get from being at a show. The crowd's all into it. It's so positive.
Oh, so positive.
It's communing, right? What a exchange of exchange. Mm-hmm. Like they're giving you something, you're giving them something, you're receiving something. Like it's that is the part that I like. I was you asked me originally, like, what were you asking me? How do I feel on stage or what? Like,
well, how you're predominantly a vocalist. Like that to me is like the most vulnerable vessel channeling position, in my opinion.
Part of me, I think that's just who I am. I've always been a singer. So like if you were born with something, I feel like that's my thing. I was born with. It's for some reason, I am deeply, so on a also born with it purposeful level, built and desire to commune. And so I'm okay. So I'm going to back up to what I said about you and the reasons why I was saying it too, because it's a deeper thing for me. I feel like I was born like a sunshine kid, right? Like positive and loving, right? But when I started doing music, it was in the grunge era. Not so positive and, like a little dark, right? Like it's a dark time. And so sure, I'm 20 something. I got angst and I could do it. And I also have a fighter side in me, but my true nature is so badly wanting to go, will you play with me? Like a kid, like I'm the kid on the playground who wants to, but won't probably say, will you be my friend?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. And these are things like I don't think I've ever said out loud, but I say out loud now because I think it's really important. And so, I'm getting to more of your answer here, but that's why I find you such a unicorn, is because you're one of the rare, I could probably count on one hand how many people in the music scenes I've ever met who matched me in like hello exchange. Like, and it's everything to me, but I just rarely meet it. And so just like anybody, I then conform to be fairly guarded or but I'm saying out loud, that's not who I am. So when I say, oh my God, it's great to meet you, you're like, no, it's great to meet you. I was like, oh my God, I'm meeting one of these unicorns. Like, she's me. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, seriously, could have just easily said it. You want to come play at my house? Like,
totally. that is, I'm not terribly surprised to hear you say that. And it makes sense that is how we connected, because I think that really was my experience too. Was just like when you are a sunshine kid, and I love that term, and I'm going to steal that now. And I feel like that's also how I generally am. Yes. Of course, these times have given a real test to that, but it's like that's just that deep down. I want to be. Oh yeah, you want to play with me? Totally. Let's be pals. That's the norm. And to be in a music industry with that personality, it's theoretically. It seems like that would make so much sense. Oh, that's a great industry to go in if you're a sunshine personality, because you're going to be reaching people. That makes sense. But the opposite often seems to be the case in the music industry. And my partner and I talk about this a lot, specifically with grunge and fetishizing sadness.
Yes.
And the need also for processing dark feelings through music is absolutely valid and should be there. But kind of it almost seems like more optimistic, positive themes in music does still seem to be in the minority.
Yeah. Well, so many things, like everyone says, it's easier to write like a sad song. But I think you playing music now, I feel like there are a lot more. I mean, the grunge era had a tint to it, right? And
Right.
that's what people, well, I think that's what a bunch of people were expressing. Then it became a thing, and the age. And so lots of things conspired to make it like, well, yeah, it's not surprising. There's an angry, punk rock, all kinds of things, right?
Yes.
But I remember being almost made fun of for being sensitive, or, snarky was real popular then, right? Like, let me insult you as a way to like pal around. And I never liked that. I would get my feelings hurt, frankly. But I got steely, or I got what I got was silent. And the other thing I made work for me was I am good at what I do. And the less I say, the more scared you are, especially around men.
Interesting.
Because they don't know me and they're sort of like, oh shit, she actually knows what she's doing. I'm not even sure what to say to her. And I kind of defensively made that work in my favor.
Right.
Because I did not have the equipment to like, I wasn't going to battle it out with people. But I needed, you know what I mean? But I was going to preserve my space by going, well, I'm just going to let you wonder about that.
Oh, you know what? To me, that feels like a very worthy and useful and resourceful way of navigating an environment that really doesn't meet you where you are. But because it made sure that you still were able to get your microphone and your voice and that communing with your audience, like whatever it takes for you to be able to be who you were born to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's part of my response to that is like, well, I'm really glad you discovered that tool so that you could make it through and have the career that you've had, because a lot of people don't discover that. And they get battered down and just like, oh, I'm not going to deal with these a-holes anymore. I'm just going to, leave it out to, or get way too hardened. So it seems like you found the middle ground.
Well, I always tell people I'm like extremely dorky pragmatic. Like I'm a terrible quote unquote rock star because I'm super Swedish pragmatic. Like I'm very much my mom. Like if somebody's acting like an ass or whatever, my response is like, well, that's ridiculous. Like, it's not, I'm not like hurt. I'm not mad. I'm more like, oh, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? I just,
you're not taking it personally.
No. And I don't see it as, I don't see it as big. I don't see it as threatening. I see it as ridiculous, right? Especially when it's like immature or there's things I just have always, even in junior high, anytime, maybe I was born a older, wiser soul, where behavior, even then I would be like, well, that's just, come on.
Yeah.
I already know that's dumb. Like how you're being shitty or bitchy to somebody else. I'd be like, really? Okay. I've just always been that way. And so when I would be in the grunge, it's almost like I knew ahead of time and so behavior didn't surprise me. I was never surprised. I definitely been hurt, but not surprised. I think the worst is when you're like, oh my God, you truly didn't see it coming and you're really hurt. That's a deeper hurt.
That I agree. Yeah. There's no prep.
There's no prep. And I have had that, like, especially if I put myself out there with love going, oh, I really want to respond, but I get someone who's been way more hurt, shitty or bitchy response back. And that's not my fault, but like, I don't, sometimes people have had terrible experiences and they're just walls up.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you in and they may have ideas about you already. And there's so much I can't do about that. Like your insecure perception of me is going to make you treat me like shit. I've had that. Where people are like, oh, in their mind, they're like, oh, you're karaoke, this legend, and that's too big for me, makes me nervous. So I'm going to kind of be shitty to you to be cool. I've had that happen a lot in the name of cool. And I'd just be like, wow, that's unnecessary. And you've now hurt my feelings.
Not cool. Yeah.
Not cool. The definition of not
and
cool.
Unnecessary, like unnecessary. Yes. Everybody can play here. And
100%. Yes.
With the singing, like, I think it's just always been a part of me. Again, and then all these other parts like pragmatic or whatever. So when I would sing, I mean, it's taking me a long time now. And I've purposely, midlife, you just get to do that, like really revisited like why do I do music, especially when it's not, it's a different time and era. Like I'm not signed to a label. It's a different experience. You really got to ask yourself again, like, do you still want to do music? Do you give a shit? Like, and why?
Right.
If you do, what's your reason why?
Yes.
And so I have really figured out that the communing is a deep, deep thing in my person. Also, two things, like I want the experience of like the spiritual part of writing music, which my stuff's really personal. So I love that that exchange between me and whatever else. And I'm now way grateful to be like, oh, I have an art form that I've done, that I do. I can utilize it if I need to. Super grateful. And then I can go take that to a stage or other people. And what you see is what you get. You're getting me. I've never prescribed to want to be cool. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I don't give a shit. Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to be I've always said this, and I've, again, been this way since junior high. I'm willing to be the first one on the dance floor, right? Like I will say the things vulnerably that you feel too, in a song for you, because I think that exchange is helpful. And for me too, right? Like for me and somebody else. But I'm like, isn't that the essence of what's amazing about music in any form?
Absolutely.
That music did this for me, helped me get through that. Like I survived this. So I feel deep, shivery gratitude around in this lifetime having to have this as something I've done or do for all those reasons. Right. And then like, and along the way, very consciously doing the things I do, right? Like just to know, like I'm very conscious about, someone might not know, but I'm like, oh no, I make decisions for a reason. I'm also willing to try things and throw it out there with not a lot of control, but that's on purpose as well. But like going from Hammerbox, which was the first band I'd ever done in my life, to Goodness. Like Goodness was specific for me. Like I was like, I had specific ideas, hence the name Goodness. Hello. Like
I love it so much.
Yeah. I was like, no, coming out of the like thick of the grunge era, I'm like, I want a band where one, there's more room musically for me to sing. I want to write songs. I was evolving into writing songs. I want it to be positive. I want the audience to know that I'm there for them. And if they're getting bothered by a hipster, that I will instantly be telling that person to fuck off, and did a lot. I was like, if you're here to be cool, get the fuck out. Like, I don't care. On stage, I'm sure there's, I don't give a shit. Yeah. Because I just don't like that. I don't like the,
well, it takes away from the purpose of being together. And like you keep on using this word that's so apt, of communing. Like how are you possibly going to be able to do that if anybody's coming in there with an ego? And it's hard, right? Because people, when they go out to see a show, they are, you don't know what the intention is, but predominantly it is to have a good time. But, you're out there, it's your community, it's intimate even for the audience. But something that you just said, Carrie, that really made me think about the leadership that is required in some ways for taking the stage, and that I feel like oozes from you when you were saying, like, I'm the first person to, I would be the first person to go out on the empty dance floor. Like that, that's kind of the leadership that the people who are watching that and witnessing that go, oh, I really, really, really want to dance too. I really, really, really want to express myself. But I'm a little bit afraid that somebody might make fun of me. And people like you know that that's happening, but that you go, well, I don't care if anyone makes fun of me. I have to just not give a shit. Like if somebody's going to say, well, I just don't care. I'm here and I'm doing this. And that's what me as an audience, I've only seen you perform once, but what was immediately apparent. I was like, Carrie, and I apologize. I didn't realize it's Aucry. I'm never going to get that wrong again. People say Massey with me. I get the Massey. So I'm like, So now
all right.
And now we're on the same page. But I remember watching you, and specifically when you are performing and singing, I noticed that you have sort of hand gestures that you may not even be conscious are happening. Like it actually almost seems kind of like oh, that's just sort of what her body does when she's singing. And what that does for the audience, at least from my perspective, was Carrie is doing this for the benefit of everybody in this room, but she's not being affected by whatever attitudes people are bringing to the show. It's only good. It's only goodness that's being channeled through you while you're doing that. So I noticed that immediately. It's like, you can't help it. You can't help it.
Well, I mean, the whole package is, of course, like any performer, a lot is going through my mind on stage, even also insecure things. Like, I'm hyper aware of who's all out there. Like, are they staying or are they walking out the door? Like, I'm aware, but it's my job to keep that in check. Like, I very rapidly on stage might be like, oh, and then I'm like, well, look, you can't falter into that right now. You got a show to do, right? Like, you can't you got to nip that in the bud, right? Like, or reconcile it really quick. Like, I'm very fast to be like, well, they're not meant to be. Meant to be.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. It's validating to hear you say that, because I've been there. I don't know how many times I've played a show for, 2 people on like a tour, and just being I guess we're going to play for you and you tonight. And let me somehow steal my mentality to be like, this is a gift for the 2 of you. And here we go.
Well, new touring is super humbling. Tell me about it. Like, going from any Hammerbox or Goodness, going from like sold out shows to playing a show for the sound guy. Yeah, I've done that a lot. And you got to figure out like, what? Oh God. Like, because there's, my ego's not getting straight. You know what I mean? Like, there's no audience to feed off of. But I always thought, I'm like, well, you're learning how to be a consummate performer, because welcome to your industry. Welcome to your world. This is it.
Yes. This is it. Yes, it is. And if you don't and that's part of what you were saying with the why and the spiritual aspect of it. Like, well, this is sort of like the grist for the mill here. If it was only always sold out shows, wouldn't everybody do this?
Right. Yeah. Well, it's my responsibility to, decide, do I like this or not? Right. That's whatever I want to do. And the one thing I did notice was, and I'm sure you have had the same thing where it's like, you're playing to 2 people and it seems like a catastrophe and you could really go down that road, but something on those nights, one thing amazing always happens.
Yes.
Like, always. And it gets a little harder over the years to just like hang your hat on that, but I don't ignore those things. But it does get hard, right? Like, well, I'll figure out one thing, I guess, that was good about tonight. After a while, you're just like, oh, yeah. Like, that's great. That's good. I mean, anybody would get tired of that. That's fine. Yes. But it would be like you're playing to 2 people and you're like, oh, okay. But those 2 people buy everything, like twice of everything in your merch. They give you a place to stay, take you to dinner, like, or they're just cool people and you're friends for life. Like, it's a slow, long game. And
such a slow, long game
that you may. So my definition of winning has changed as well, right? Like, what success is in music has massively evolved due to like experiences, age and experience, I guess,
of course,
and change, right? So, you may decide, and I didn't love touring. I didn't. It's hard. Touring's
hard.
It's really hard. I found it really lonely. I'm not a person who hangs out in bars anyway. And so I was like, well,
what? Touring? Because it just
there are people who adore touring. People who don't ever want to come home. Oh, yeah.
Tom Petty's documentary. Go ahead, Ryan.
Say maybe they have other problems. They don't want to go home. I don't know.
Sometimes.
That's what Tom Petty says in his documentary. He said when the band stopped touring, that was when like their negative habits like had a chance to kind of start up, and that actually being on the road was the distraction that they needed from their vices. And so that was like the healthier path for them. Yeah. Whereas for me, it's almost like the opposite. Like when I go on tour, I'm not eating as well as I should. I'm definitely not sleeping as well. I'm not. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, and touring is a vacuum. So for some people, I mean, what you're doing. I mean, it's the same thing. You get in the van, or if you're lucky, bus or whatever. You go to the next town, you set up, you sound check, you play your show, you get back in the van, or maybe you get a hotel, but depending where you're at, I guess,
Right.
or how much money you have. And so, but that becomes a bubble that
Right.
gets kind of comfortable, but it's like a whole nother world that only musicians are living in.
Yes.
But it gets my mind. I'm introverted in the way that I need to be alone a lot to rejuvenate. A lot. I'm one of the folks who, hopefully not insultingly, has loved the pandemic for the isolation reasons, because I do deep growth when I get to be alone in silence a lot. Like that's my space to be like, so how are we doing? What do you want to do here? Like
Absolutely.
And on tour, you just don't have a lot of space. There's not, you have to make that scenario into close enough to what you might like. So, like I'm the first one into a hotel or, or car than anyone in the band. I like to go to bed at 9. I like to take a bath and read a book, right?
Right.
A good conversation. I mean, and also I'm a woman. Like how many, 2 nights in a bar is enough. Like there's nothing out there for me. Like I'm not meeting Prince Charming. I'm not having deep intellectual conversations. God bless everybody. I mean, I'm not looking to have some sort of science conversation, but just a good conversation.
Yes. Well, I so appreciate you bringing up, and it's ironic, right? I know I'm crying.
I'm sounding pretentious. I'm not
no,
like
no, not at all. No,
but you're everybody's Friday night.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're everybody's Friday night when you are performing.
Yeah.
And my joke always, I am an early to bed, late to rise person.
Yeah, okay.
Like I'm a sleep monster. Like I could sleep for 10 to 12 hours a night if given the chance, but I'm a parent, so I'll never sleep in again.
Right.
Which actually one of the things I want to ask you about, because you are also a parent.
Yes.
And I am, what I discovered in becoming a parent, I was how I identified myself before becoming a parent was, the various things, an artist, and I still am an artist. Yes. When I became a parent, the silence factor that I also need to rejuvenate and be a creative person went from whatever my threshold was prior to being a parent to like basically nothing.
Yes.
And not having that silent space, and maybe even if I had some silence, it wasn't predictable enough that I could plan for it and actually have that space. So the challenges of that met the hype. People were like really skeptical that I would continue my career after I became a parent. And it required a lot of maneuvering and a ton of inner working with my bandmates, who, God bless them, were there for me and were very flexible. And certainly, namely my partner, who we co-parent. So that's the only way this works. Yeah. But I wonder if you could speak to that process for you and like that co-identity. Yeah. I'm curious.
Well, and I just got to say, your band also are like kindest unicorns as well. Like that's the nicest group of people those guys are so nice. I would also want to drag them in a room and be like, you're so nice. But yeah, I just really like them instantly a lot. They were just nice. Like
they're good people.
When someone comes to you without you asking and be like, hey, how you doing? All right. I feel good. And I was like, what? Is this for real? I mean, I'm psyched. Anyways, they're very nice.
That on to them.
Yeah, please do. They are just genuinely very kind, very nice. Oh my God. So
I know it's a big one.
Yeah, it is. But whatever. So my story is, right, like I had my son when I was 41, right? So I had all that time in all of the musical stuff I did. That's a lot of time.
And you were very well established. Like this is, we're talking like here she is. Yeah.
So I didn't get married till I was 40. I didn't have a child till I was 41. And so it's, I had all of that behind me. What I found hard, and I wish if I could go back, I would have done it differently, although nothing really wrong, but I knew I wanted a child. So I was sort of like, I don't know. I don't have the experience to say yes, but I I was like, if I don't at this point, I'm pretty used to that. But when I had Orion, I was ready, and I really just, all interest in music left me. All I wanted was him. All I wanted was to be around Orion all the time. Now, I realize that now, but at the time I felt conflicted. I felt like, and this is where I was kind of on my personal understanding, the sort of journey of like midlife. I wrestled with that a lot of like, you should, because you have, and you can, so you should be doing music. But the truth was, I was working 40 hours a week at a corporate job. I was a mom. I was exhausted, like you're talking about. And then where am I going to put in music? Because it does require swaths of alone time. Like, I realized I got married and had a kid fairly quickly. I had never mapped out like, look, you don't share your creativity time with anyone. I hadn't thought about that. Right. And so now I was like, oh, no boyfriend I know even was around me when I would write. And now I'm married with a kid. I hadn't thought about that. And I just was like, and it was vulnerable to me because I realized I had made that space really private. And so even with a husband, right? Like that's a personal friendship thing, like that I hadn't mapped out. So there was I mean, even my husband and I had said, or I think I had said to him when we got married, I was like, shit's going to hit the fan, because we literally like met in like 2006, got engaged in 2007, had a baby, got pregnant in July of 2007, got married in 2007, and then had Orion in 2008. And I remember looking at Marty going, we've like barely gotten a chance to hang out, and now we're going to have to work it all out with all of this on the plate. And so it just was a lot. And I think it sunk me into a, without knowing any better, it sunk me into a depression that lasted a really long time. Yep. I poured a lot of white wine on that, and prosciutto and cheese. You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
I'm not going to say I was, in my mind, successful. I did not understand. I was sorting it out from like 2008, and I put out a record in 2008. Like I literally played shows till I was 8 months pregnant on Last the Evening. Yeah, Last the Evening, third solo record, had Orion, and I'm sorry, first year, sleep, what?
Forget about it.
I thought I knew sleep deprivation from touring. No.
That's getting a good night's sleep. That is getting a good night's sleep, sleeping in a van.
At a much younger age, too, like 41. Oh, you were asking for it, lady. And what you said about, and not predictable. Like, my life is not my own. Like,
no,
I would sit down for a second and it would be like, like just the herky jerk of like, no one tells you. My mom didn't tell me.
You don't know. You don't know. You can't. And as much as you would like to be like, okay, I'm an artist. I know what I need to be creative. And now I'm going to have a child. And I've heard that it can be challenging, but maybe what I'll plan on is every time they nap, I'll go into creative mode. You could rationalize and think that, and then you get there and you're like, on
paper,
this is not reality. This isn't reality. And it is the emotional toll. And I think, Carrie, I think that everybody who parents goes through some kind of a depression experience following that, because like you're saying, your life is no longer your own. And the realization or that concept. I do now feel like my life is my own. I feel like I've kind of come through that process, and I'm out of the woods in some ways. I'm from the wee years. Yeah. But the experience of sleep deprivation, you can understand why it's like a torture device that people use.
Yes.
You really can, because you don't have any memory. You lose your memory. You can't cognitively do. And I know Bob Dylan would like purposefully deprive himself of sleep for like creative purposes, but that's all well and good because he doesn't have to take care of somebody when he's like, oh, you want to do that mind fuck for yourself and then get creative? Great. I'm having this mind fuck, and then I have to make sure somebody's not, dying over here. Thriving and surviving.
And I'm sure like his is pre-planned for himself, right? Still self-regulated.
Structured.
Structured.
Yeah. Well, and also there's a deep love and nurturing pull, right?
Yes.
Like you just,
Yes.
when you said there's someone you got to take care of, that's a yearning, like that's an attention
Yes.
taker that is like feels biological. Like
Yes.
when my husband and I actually formed a band with a couple friends of my brother. And we were like, oh, we'll do this side project. And we would go to practice. And I was like, I just didn't want to be there. Like
yeah.
That for me, the deep, like a depth of love for my son that I had never experienced, where all I wanted to do was take care of him.
Yeah.
Like I just yearned for it. Everything else seemed to pale in measure. Like just be in a stinky practice space with loud music that's going to go nowhere, or be with my son. I was like, who cares? Like, what am I doing here? What am I doing? Yeah. Like, why do I care? Like, I mean, I love music, but at that time, I'm sorry, I'd had a kid. It's a huge life experience. It's a beautiful,
you don't want to miss it.
And that's what I wish, sitting here, what I wish I would have done. And I think other people probably are doing is like, I wish I would have just been able to make that understanding in my head and say, I'm not doing music. I'm fully focusing, because who I used to reference in my head was like, look at Patti Smith. She was gone for 30 years, taking care of her kids. And now she's doing art. Chill out, lady.
Chill out, everybody. Chill out. And right.
Life is long.
Yes, thank you. That is one of one of the lyrics in a song that we have is, I keep on realizing life is long. Like I keep on going like, oh, right. Like so I'm approaching my 40s and I keep on feeling like I got time.
Totally.
Like Mississippi John Hurt got discovered. Was he in his 70s or his 80s? And like, I discovered him and I'm a fan of his. Yeah. And I would have never known about him until, somebody was going through the South and discovered this gem. And so that always inspires me. I feel like Joni Mitchell taking off. I know for her, I think it was like health related, but she took off swaths of time. And guess what? She's come out with more music and it's amazing. Yeah. So relax, people.
Right. Well, and look, nobody knows your personal life, right? Like if you're talking to a stranger outside of you with their high level concept of being a musician and what that all is about, like it's super high level with no day-to-day detail, right? And that's very much this era, right? Like of the social media, like you're seeing something and you think you know something. I'm like, you don't know anything. You are not there every day. No. Every day is the difference.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And so that's reality based, is every day, not the whatever snippets of pictures or quotes you're being given, the curated version of their lives. And so I always, I think similar to you, like I always remind myself of make your decisions in reality, like like grounded, hardcore, like truth of every day, because the rest you're just not in control of. Like when I'd say 5 years ago I felt like I had a really dark night of the soul that lasted a good 10 some years. And that's a pretty normal thing to have happen. But within that time, there was, being married, having a kid, feeling really lonely and split in corporate life, but, it paid for things. And just the transition, it's almost like just the transition out of all that time in music, out of it to sort out all the shit that was in it. You know what I mean? Because it's like you needed some time away to be like, well, what'd you like or not like? And what's all the trauma that you now need to process that you never did in the middle of it. Right. Like all that stuff came out for me. But another thing is the sort of like, look, you may never get a chance to be a full-time musician. 1, 2, you kind of know what that entails. So you need to ask yourself and wake the hell up out of a fantasy and go, do you really want that? Like, and when we answer ourselves, remember what that really means.
Remember the reality, the everyday. What does the everyday of that look like? Yeah.
Like if I came to someone and said, to describe, have a job description, I would want to, I actually feel like I should write out, like, if you're going to choose to be an architect, it looks like this. If you're going to be a nurse, like this. If you're going to be a musician who's striving, here's what that music industry job atmosphere potentially could look like. I mean, some people get to do it healthier, and they do it healthy.
Sure.
But just understanding the truth of what it is helped me a lot.
Yes.
And knowing like, I'm not in control. I am not in control. Like, I'm not in control of who pays attention, who cares, who's looking. I'm swimming now in a volume of musicians that was unprecedented when I was doing like Hammerbox or even Goodness. Right?
I can only imagine the difference. I mean, I didn't even think of that. Right.
So just like a lot of letting go, a lot of truthful letting go. So there have been times that were testers for me where I had to stop and be like some things that happened that really hit me hard and were super devastating, like just for me personally. And instantly I was like, okay, we can either fall into a sieve of depression, like controllessly, like just like, or we could stop, because I really don't want that. I really had enough of depression. I was like, okay, what do we have? And that helps me when I can ground myself into going, what are the things you have that you can know, and it's not reliant on anybody else? And I was like, I can write songs, I can record, I can perform, I can make t-shirts or posters the rest of my life without anyone getting in the way. And that helped me calm down. So I'm like, I may not make $1 million.
Yeah.
I may not ever be discovered again, but the thing that settled my heart was like, I'm 110% proud of everything I've done. I've done a good job.
It's on your terms, and you're the boss.
Right.
I mean, that's huge. And for me, that is so. That's so much wisdom just from all of those experiences, and to not go down the sieve of depression and to then recalculate. It seems like, and it makes me think two things. One is, and I'm at a point in my life where. The other thing that I do during the week is I'm a special ed teacher, and I adore, I love this job as much as I love being a musician.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And so when I'm sort of kind of
lucky
awakening, I am really lucky. I'm really lucky. What I'm awakening to is this idea and concept. And I've kind of said it before in the world, but now it's starting to the mirror is really coming up, which is, I know I'm an artist. Everybody in this world is an artist. And it's just, we are at varying levels of understanding that and realizing that. Like when I'm teaching, I have to be creative. I have to be an artist. I am doing something that is, it requires present moment awareness if I'm going to do it well. If I'm open to it, I'm learning. And so it's not exactly the same part of my brain of creativity, but if I have that intention and I'm looking at it through that lens, it can sometimes scratch the same itch, and it's just as rewarding and validating. And so when I think about it as if all of the actions and all of the ways that I am acting in the world make me feel like I'm doing it from like a creative and positive standpoint, what the hell more do I want out of this life?
Winning. Yeah.
Because what else could I ask for?
Because I think yes, and yes. I love that. And my husband actually teaches self-contained autism, and he loves it. Yeah. And he's a unicorn as well. Yeah. Yeah. He's awesome. And he loves these kids. But I think like what you're saying requires people to understand you need to really learn. What do I want to say? There are things of value that people miss their weight of value. Right? Like it's because music is so wrapped in a fantasy, and it's a hard, strong pull, even for musicians, right? It's a psychological drug that you kind of want. It's, it's fantastical. People, it's romanticized. It's easy to get
swept up
and think like life should always be like this, and it makes you blind to like probably all the shitty sides of it, but it also numbs you to like other gifts on the planet that are not based in fame or cool or which is a drug. I get it. I get it, and I'm not dissing anybody, but there's a miss that I think could make or break people. That is like a rich life, like the definition of what a truly rich life is. If you can calm your fantasy ego down, you would find like, oh, I have it already. Or like, like
I'm
what
covered
you're
in
saying,
chills.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything you're
Right.
saying. Yes. I'm covered in goosebumps. Yes.
But it's requires like letting go of a fantasy. And I guess I don't know if I'm defining fantasy, because I
No,
believe in
it is.
visualizing and,
Sure.
and
Sure.
there are the things that are lovely, no duh, but you'll just miss a beautiful life if you don't
Yes.
also internally, if you're not able to go, oh yeah, okay, I feel that. Yeah. Like, because I'm
Yes.
telling you, like, this year was, I think, the first year I was like, I got a good life. Like, I work with a coach who we worked through a bunch of old traumas around music, old regrets and hangups that were mine, right? Of like what could have been kind of stuff. And it was just even in that phrase alone, right? A pretty empty like phrase of like what could have been, which then runs rampant with like untethered thoughts.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Of like, oh, I could have
Yes.
done a solo record on this major label. They wanted me and I didn't. And so I'm letting this feeling of missing out, and I'm just at that level, no detail, like hang in my body forever. And I was like, you're not stopping to play that story all the way through. You're not grounded. It's all about being grounded, I guess.
Yes.
And saying like, come on, look at the truth, wake up, because you're causing yourself a lot of angst and damage around something, one that you don't know what would have happened.
Yes.
And you're not acknowledging, and here's what I love about my coach. She's like, what if you made the right decision? Why can't you see this as the right decision? Or what, even deeper, she's she was like, also, she goes deeper, and this like made my head explode. She was like, why can't you trust that Carrie then absolutely did the right thing and was that smart? And why can't you look at yourself that way and feel confirmed as like, oh, good job, as opposed to like, well, I made this decision on my gut. And she's like, but what if you were right? Why can't you think that? Why can't you get that in your body? And I was like,
oh my, whoa.
That wasn't your story. That wasn't the path you were to take. You can't beat yourself up for it.
And that path, not taking that path is okay, because everyone would think like, oh, in their mind, it's a high level fantasy of like major label, you could have been huge. And it's just those phrases, right? That we all like, it's like a drug. We're all like, oh, being huge, famous, money, whatever. And I was like, that's up here.
Yeah.
And no one's talking about what potentially is all underneath there, especially for a woman. I was like, look, I could have left a band I loved, burnt bridges, gone and done this record with a company that didn't seem to give a shit about musicians. They could have dumped me in a year. I could have been sexually assaulted. I could have had massive sexism all around me. I could be lonely. And I'm like, why aren't I taking that all seriously?
Right. Well, and I love this comparison and sort of like spinning out these possible, because what it all brings it back home to is, what is my life like today? And what are the interactions that I'm having today? And something that really colors my life, and it has since I was 15, is that my dad passed away unexpectedly from kidney cancer. He was diagnosed in March and he died in May. And it was a really cataclysmic experience in overarchingly positive way, because it has really carved out everything that's happened since. It's like one of those pre-post moments, in that ever since that happened, I've been kind of obsessed with, as many people are, with death, and always kind of thinking about, what do I want to have my parting gifts be? I'm using the word parting gifts from this children's book that my friend Krista Fisher, who's also a musician, just put up. It's this beautiful kid's book about this badger who died. Anyway, look up Badger's Parting Gifts. That's my aside. Okay. What I'm using the word parting gifts is, what is somebody at the end of their life? What do you really truly hope is your parting gift? Is it that you were on number one on Billboard and people who you didn't know enjoyed your song? That's nice. That's nice. Or is it that the people who you interacted with every day knew that you loved them and felt like cherished and felt that there was a part in your heart in the shape of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to me what matters. That's what matters most to me. So I feel like I realized that after my dad died. Mm-hmm. And so that when I entered into the music industry and just started to be like, oh, I think I like songwriting. Well, what do I do with this? Mm-hmm. It was like, I never had this, like, I feel like deep down, I never had this feeling like, well, and I really hope I get super famous. But the moments that come along with it, where you get glimpses of it, are like a drug, Carrie.
Yes,
and I really appreciate you saying that word, because it's a drug of the ego, like all drugs are, trying to hijack this thing and saying, ooh, and this will make me better than everybody, because then I'll be fill in the blank. And are there people who are really famous who are great at putting their ego at the door? Yes. And I'm grateful to them. Yeah, that's wonderful. But for me, I do try to, and sometimes at the chagrin of my bandmates, try to have this attitude of, we don't need to be famous. Mm-hmm. We've already succeeded. Yeah. It's Eckhart Tolle saying.
Yeah.
What if you've already succeeded?
Yes. Yeah.
It's good to redefine success, because it's like there's a very unhealthy perception of it. It's about being famous and having a lot of money, and you're like, that's just a tiny little thing. It's like there's so much more to life.
People don't talk about what comes with that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm telling you, it's all the details and experiences underneath there that no one sees, that they, don't talk about, don't see coming. Justine Bateman had a great book called Fame, and I suggest it for anyone, and I devoured it like in a day. She talks about her rise and quote unquote fall, which is not right for me to say, but I'm saying that, from fame. And it was fascinating. Because she not only talks about like what the trajectory looked like, the speed, the timing, the size, but then all the things that happened to her, people's weird behaviors once you become that. And I felt like I got tiny tastes of that, of like, people know who you are. They think they can say anything to you. Or they could walk by on the street and touch you, or, or say anything at you, because you're not real anymore and you're public. Your time is not your own. You're at a show and people just say weird shit to you, especially, like weird shit to you, or they won't stop talking. God bless them. There's all these like workings of that career that nobody most people don't talk about. And you don't see it coming as a person, and now you got to handle that. You're like, you didn't know that be in your life. Now you didn't know you'd have somebody stalking you, or oh my God. And now I can't even imagine with like the internet, again, like trolls and whatever, someone who got no accountability, saying like the most terrible things. Like, thank God we had to write out mailers. I don't know. I did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
I do.
Yeah. And I'm not in that space. Like whatever. Like, I've had people say things, but not on the volume I think somebody today does. No. Another thing you said, okay, see, too many thoughts in my head. It's like an explosion of like, I mean, there's all that with like fame. There's nothing wrong with like, if I was in a band, I was like, make a list of the things that you want to do. That's no problem. Like, I want to play timbre. I want to play Dove. I want to like, hell yeah. I mean, dream, go. Oh yeah. But if you can tuck in the back of your mind of like, what will that potentially really mean? Like, I always said, in the last couple of years, I was like, if I could have it my way, I was like, I'd want to be huge in Europe. I'd want to get to play Glastonbury. I would love that, just to see that craziness. I'd want to, I just want to be in Europe, frankly. I want to be huge in Europe.
Yes.
Oh, really? I want to be huge in Europe. I said, I want to be like Cat Power size. You know what I mean? I want to be like Feist size in order to go do the things I want to do and collaborate and and frankly, like you're saying, do more art.
Do more art.
I just want to do more art. Yeah.
Which you're doing, by the way. You are like modeling that in our community.
Oh, good.
I don't think so. I know so.
Like, you think people think that?
I think that. And I think I'm not alone. I think that you are starting this journey that of like, wait a minute, karaoke is doing a lot of things but they're all art. They're all art related. They're all creative. I had no idea. And what it does is it makes the concept of you, right? Because not everybody will ever know you personally. Yeah. Is that the concept is that you are more of like this, you're like a mosaic of creativity. The largest pieces of that mosaic are music in most people's mind, but it's being added to, and all that does is it just makes it more colorful and complex in a beautiful way to the people looking in. To me, that's what I'm observing. So I feel like you're doing that, and what you're saying about like wanting to be huge in Europe and like the cat power fight. I love what you're saying of like manifesting fantasy and all that kind of stuff by being in touch with the present moment and not wanting to have all the negative things that come with fame. It is not mutually exclusive with having dreams, and kind of trying to strike that balance is, I think, just one of the challenges of life, but it's a good challenge.
Yeah. And well, you can go into doing that with knowledge, right? And not
of course
condemning knowledge. Like I'm not looking to be like, stop dreaming and forget it's always going to be awful. You know what I mean? Like that's not true. I'm not trying to say that.
Of course.
I'm just saying, like, know the things potentially and dream anyway.
Yes.
And get very clear. It helps. It keeps a person safer when they take the time to get very clear about what do you like and what do you not like. Because I didn't do that. As simple as that. Because that was one of my things in the last like 10 years where I was like, I never stopped through almost anything. Goodness, Hammerbox, solos, anything. I never, and I just wasn't in the habit of doing it, I guess. Stopping and going, so how's that going for you, Care?
That's right. Isn't that so bizarre? but that's what so many people do. Do I even actually like this?
Yeah, what is that? Let's put the brakes. What is going, am I happy? What do I not like? Like, and how will we kibosh that stuff? Like, it takes a lot of things. Yeah, just to.
Do you think that you would have come to any of those realizations without your life's experience? Because that's what comes to mind for me too, of all these young artists and just in general our ageist culture of focusing on young people, and we all see what happens to child stars and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that in conversations like this really amp up my hope of this idea of actually the older we get, the more intentional and full and authentic our creative expressions are. Yeah. And I want to believe that the world and the markets will, I don't want to use the word reward, but like answer that call a little bit. But I guess, I don't know. I guess it remains to be seen.
I wouldn't rely on the market. I would not rely on the market, but no. I mean, I get it. Like it would be because what is the market? Like the market is people want to sell shit and easier things, sell things, deep thought, carving it out. That requires time and thinking. And I don't know who I'm insulting here, but like, but I mean, it requires effort. And I think things that sell are a quicker, easier, take. You know what I mean? I think the nature of things like a hit song or things like that. I remember a record exec said to me, the people who get you to buy like 1 million records are in the Midwest, right? And he was saying, and those people are not dissecting and music like you and your people are in Seattle. They just want to tap their toe to it. They want to dance to it at prom. They want to hear it at the kegger that they're at, you know, like, and I mean, I grew up in the Tri-Cities. I went to keggers and I was like, yeah, the theme of your life, right? But that's a very high level connection. That is not a deep, artistic, thought out, what's it all mean to me? And that's not the majority of people. I'm trying desperately not to be insulting.
Well, you know, my band is named after a state park in the Midwest, and my bandmates are from the Michigan. So I mean, I think this actually brings up a really interesting point about Seattle, Tacoma, and PNW, Salish Sea, Puget Sound area.
Yeah.
which is, and it actually kind of ties into what we were talking about with fame and all that kind of thing. One of the things that I really like about living in this area, and the reason I enjoy being a creative person in this area, is it seems like the people here who've had whatever varying levels of fame or however you want to define musical success, people here don't give a shit about that. It feels like, Ben Gibbard was walking down my block a couple of months ago, years ago. It was just like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Dave Matthews picked up his kid from preschool across from my apartment. And, I'd say hi to him here or there. Nobody cared. Right. And that's one of the things that I like about this area. It's like, it's a little insular. It's a little bit of a microcosm, which has its cons, a little bit, a lot of it. One of the things that the pros to me is that part of the attitude here is, you are following your dream in that way. Oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll check out your show. Oh, you're following it that way. There's a real, that kind of vibe.
I think you're totally right. I think that's always been here. Like just an infrastructure of any sort that's supporting music, right? And it's fluxed, right? Like it's waxed and waned in terms of what all those things are in the infrastructure, right? But yeah, there's always been this through line of creative people where like it's possible, and it's just about being creative. You know what I mean? Like express yourself, put a band together. These are things that are like in the lexicon, like I have a band, Right. It's just something you could do. I mean, that's why I joined. When I was in Seattle, I just was like, well, this seems to be happening a lot around here. It's like,
you wanted to fit in. Like you got to have a band.
Yeah. Seems like a possibility. Yes. And then it was like, even more so, I would love, I'm going to ask you, like when I was doing Hammerbox, I mean, Seattle was very different, right? Like I could be a barista, have an apartment, and be in a band, and that was my life, right? Like I had a $300 apartment, right? So I feel very lucky about that. And I think that played into why a lot of people were doing it. Was just very affordable here. Like anybody could be doing that. And it wouldn't tax you. Hence probably why we all did it longer too, is because we're like, well, I can keep this game going for decades. Like all I got to have is $300 and some food money. I can perpetuate my youth forever. Until it started to change and get more expensive. And but back to what you were saying. Oh my God, so many things. Microsoft, Amazon, the corridor. I remember when the corridor was just warehouses, right? Like nothing there. And the fight over that property with Paul Allen. And anywho, but what you were saying about like, is it something like as people go along? One, I just think there's the age, right? If you're a seeker at all, even if you just let go the steering wheel, you're going to grow, right? And I do think things happen at certain ages that don't happen in prior ages, right? Like, and they just come about. Like midlife is real. It's that moment where all of a sudden you're looking back and you've never looked back. Like you're not, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm looking back, and I'm looking back and I'm questioning now what? Like that's midlife to me, where you hit this wall that naturally turns you backward to reflect on what has been in the past and how you feel about it and all your shit. So that's why it can be a rough time, is you can either take that moment to reconcile, heal, and grow, and then move into phase 2, or you could fall apart. You could start drinking heavily. You could it's hard. It's a hard shift, but it is a real shift. And it propels you into these questions that then, if you take the mantle up, like can deepen you, right? And make you more, wiser, deeper. You have a better understanding of yourself. And it can also be what helps you continue.
Yes.
If you so choose, but you have such a wider, sometimes the burden is you have a lot more info than you did in your 20s, right? And sometimes that's like, I really wish I didn't know that, like I loved, my ignorance was beautiful. You know what I mean? I had such a good time. Like I had such a good time. And now I know way too much, and I'm not sure what to do with it. Like, cause it comes with some happiness and it comes with a lot of fucking pain and I don't know where to put it. How do I reconcile it? How do I move forward? I mean, if someone takes up the mantle, just years go by, you grow, right?
Yes.
Years go by, you grow. And what you do with it is up for grabs. And it could be, you can head in a good direction or you could really stymie.
Yes.
And I'm a seeker. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been a seeker of like, my mom said that to my husband. She's like, well, like I can remember she was making fun of me or she was like, Carrie's always learning or seeking or like I'm always reading some self-help book or whatever knowledge.
Same.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm the same.
Right? Like
I'm the same. What you said about phase 2 and all that. I just I'm always consuming new ideas about where we are on an evolution. I studied anthropology in college, so I'm always obsessed with like how we as a species are like changing in real time. I mean, but I also like to think about how long it's taken us to get here. Yeah. So I think about that, and I'm like always interested in philosophers, et cetera. But what somebody recently was talking about, that classic phrase of, do you feel like your best years are behind you, or do you feel like they're in front of you? And I feel like I had heard that before as a kid or something, but like hearing it right now, as I feel like I'm entering into my midlife time, was like, I'm so glad that got brought into my consciousness again, because what I want to feel is that I'm only ever continuing to learn. I want to only be learning. And when you said your mom is always a learner, to me, that's a massive compliment. It's actually why I became a parent, because I want my kid to tell me, Mom, what you just said is actually like, we don't think that way anymore. You don't want to say that anymore. Like, I'm going to have that built in, I hope.
Yeah. It's huge. That kind of thing. Yeah. I still get that from my daughter a lot. It's like, oh yeah, that's old. And you're like, oh, all right.
Oh,
okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Well, and I think that question is a put upon too, because I think the whole ride is the whole ride.
It's all good. The Bill Hicks.
What does he say?
Bill Hicks talks about, he has that big thing about life is a ride. Yes. And he goes, and we kill people who say it's a ride. He's talking about just like prophets from before, but he says like, when you think of life as a ride, it's going to have its ups and downs, but think of it as that. Think of it as that. And you're just on it. You're on a ride.
Yeah. This is it.
Enjoy it. The ups and the downs.
Yeah. And I mean, the more understanding of how you might feel along the way is helpful. Like, hey, you may get to this age and notice that you are chewing on some things. That's normal, or maybe some old trauma comes up. Yeah, that's about, you're right on time, or nobody tells you this ahead of time though. So you're sort of like either blindly fighting against it and pouring something on top of it, or you're set, or like, cause nobody's given us the words or the manual to say, probably right around 40 to la la la, you're going to notice this, And so like when I do like the coaching and stuff that I'm doing right now, I've told people, like I knew when I figured out that to me, coaching is another extension of who I am, and music and coaching aren't different. They're using what's essentially inside of me to serve and support people. Right. Like I, as a kid, have always been like the person who's like, wants to fight for the underdog, or like, fuck yeah, we're going to go do that. I have it within me. Right. But at this point, I also have within me, like, I am not risk adverse. I like change. Like I have superpowers that I want to bring to somebody to help them, scooch along and be like, yeah, come on, like, let's go do, and I, it's good to have a buddy. I call myself like the killer journey buddy. Like we all deserve support. People don't ask for help a lot of the time. Everyone deserves support. And why not have someone in your ear that's sort of like, fuck yeah, we're going to go get that. Like you can have whatever you want. Like, and I got that for days. I'm like, come on.
I just love you so much. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat what you just said, which is everyone deserves support.
Yes.
That is like a sage phrase. Can we like get that written in stone somewhere?
It's another t-shirt. Mm-hmm.
love that. That's going to like haunt me. And I mean that in a good way. I hope my whole life.
Oh, good.
Everyone deserves support.
Yeah. I don't think people, including myself, I think most people don't ask for help.
No,
or
they don't.
They're so wounded that's real vulnerable to do, especially when you don't know somebody. I mean, wounds, trauma, that's delicate. That's a delicate place. That's a scary, like I don't mess with anyone I don't mess with anyone in general, but I was like, if someone has deep wounds, I don't go pushing myself on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because to me, people are sacred. I mean, again, like in the coaching, my philosophy is I'm like, you're the only thing that matters, like in your life, right? Like the whole thing, like there's never been someone like you. There never will be anyone like, that's how unique you are. And like when you were talking about your dad, I don't know if you felt this too, but like when my mom passed, it like carved me out from then on out different, right? That's an experience that changes you. I get that.
Yeah.
What deepened for me was the knowledge of the specialness of an individual. Like
yes,
she was my mom, so that's a role that's deep, right? If you get along right with your parent or whatever, but all the ways that her existence and the slow realization, this is in the grief process. What happened for me was like a peeling back an onion, like the slow realization of where she played out in my life anywhere. You know what I mean? And that deepness leveled me, like when we were talking about like, fame or all these things, like, it doesn't mean shit.
Come close. Doesn't come close.
It doesn't mean anything. It's nothing. It's almost like, okay, if in your lifetime you want to play that dance, go for it, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, sure, you can play with that toy if you want, but it's just, it's not a thing.
Right. It doesn't have the realness and the quality of truth. Yeah. That when you lose somebody. And to me, what you just said, Carrie, about you peeling back the onion on all the ways that she had a shape in you. Mm-hmm. And then for me, the interesting part now is all the time since the death and since the passing of how my dad continues to shape me is the fascinating portion as well of like, well, and I mean, in my DNA, he is still there, but like even in like my actions, I know I'm taking them because of that influence, and it's like impacting me as I move through till the day I die. Yeah, I mean that's just but you don't know that until you experience it. You can't conceptualize that until you're there.
Well, and realizing in a life like the power of like there's power lies in little things, again, like this fallacy that like fame and whatever, like it's a drug. It's like, so, and it's a good one. Like it's, I don't know, like getting on stage and having a bunch of people scream and yell at you, fair. I get it. Like fair claim. But I want more of that. I love that shit. Like there are things that I loved. Like I loved being like big enough where I had to have big guys walk around me. I'll admit that egotistical thing. I love that shit. Yeah. I want to be Lady Gaga a little bit and have bodyguards. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. With no imminent threat, of course. Like I wouldn't want that.
Just for the company.
It just made you feel special, right? You just felt powerful and special, just sort of like that's my ego. So everybody's got an ego.
I love it.
Yeah. But but these levelers, like things like this, really, the potential for like all the cool things or what is really rich, like come out. Like I have a lot of lessons in that lately. And what, like, and if you can put aside, if you can, like someone asked me like, oh, if your son wanted to be in a band, what would you do? And I was like, well, I would say get in the van at 19 and do not get out until you're 30. You like, and go for it. Go for all of it. Like as much as I say, ooh, there's things within that industry are rough or whatever, I think if you're going to, because there's plenty of wild rides, and what an amazing experience. Like, I've had that experience where it's irreplaceable, right?
Yes.
When I was in corporate jobs and someone was like, oh, I went to college and now I'm here at this corporate job. What'd you do? And I was like, I opened for Iggy Pop. Like, I've opened for, I've opened for Oasis. What'd you do in your 20s? Oh, I was in a van and I opened Madison Square Garden. I like, it's like, how do you reconcile that? But what an amazing adventure. So yes, and more yes to that. And if you can be awake while you're doing it and retain your intelligence and be super smart, go for it. But that industry has its crazy and everybody knows it. But
they need you to need their coach along the side while they were to endeavor to do that. I mean, well, just like being not afraid to ask for help when you're in the van and it's getting a little dark or a little bit hard. Not being afraid to say, hey guys, I think I need to not do this next tour and do a little bit of reclamation of myself. And then let's hop back in the van and being okay with doing that. But it has to be, but you have to have a team around you who supports that. And that's, I think, a massive thing that I am now learning is having people who are on the same vibrational level, same intention, same lens, working with you. And I mean, I'm looking at the time. I'm sorry, I have to go in a little bit because I have to watch my little guy do the passing of the torch. But I feel like even conversations like this and just crossing your path, Ryan, virtually, and just having met you, Carrie, I feel like this is all just the universe kind of reflecting back to me that the path that I'm on is a good one for me because it has attracted for me in an industry that gets a bad rap sometimes. I feel like I have met some of the most quality, wonderful, honest people. Yeah. And so I'm very grateful.
Well, and I do think you can have that, right? And you attract that because you are that and your eyes are wide open. If people could have that, just that level of like maturity or consciousness,
good to go.
Good to go. Having a great time. And I feel the same way. Like I really needed this today. Like I, out of everything, crave to talk to other musicians because I did not in the past. I was very isolated, not like, trauma, but just I didn't know any better. And so that's why I seek out like gatherings with other women. And my reason is I'm like, I spent all my time alone. And it's so satisfying to talk to another artist because for me, I was like, again, boring pragmatic Carrie was like, I wanted all those conversations. Like I want to enjoy artistry on this level. I want to talk about it. I want to make shit. I want to be good at it. I want that's juicy. That's the drug I want.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. Well, you model that. And I feel like I'm very lucky that I get to be in a community where I can see you doing that because it helps inform me of what I want my path to unfold like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got to talk again. We got to talk on the phone.
Yes,
I think I need you now.
Same here. This has been just a sheer joy. I did really need this today.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
We are going to post all this stuff. You guys have a new release. You have a whole bunch of music coming out. We're going to send us all the links to everything. I'll post a bunch of stuff. And because that's the fun. Let's have that kind of fun.
Oh, that sounds great. I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Of course. Anytime. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice.
Okay.